Hello everybody, welcome back to IA Command. We have another Season 8 game log review for you, and this is again from the competitive league for Season 8, the Purgle League, the first league of the season. We'll probably have a few leagues before we get into the next season, so this is the first one. This is where players actually get to compete with the cards. It's not playtesting, there's no changes happening. These are the cards as they are, and players are trying to play with them to see who can win. And this is going to be a match between Tuukka and Herbie. And we've got Tuukka on the left side playing a nice mix of old school and new rebels. He's got Han Solo with Rogue Smuggler, the upgraded Loku Kanoloa. He's got Jin Odon, Sabine Wren, which is nice to see again in competitive play. We've got 3PO, Gideon Argus, and R2-D2, along with Balance of the Force and Heroic Effort. We've got Herbie on the right in the blue deployment zone, playing also Rebels, but playing pretty different lists. We've got Jedi Luke Skywalker and Yoda. It's a nice thematic pairing there. They do play nicely together. With Cara Dune, Baze Malbus, CT-1701, R2-D2, and C-3PO, and Luke has the Heir of the Jedi upgrade for 0 points, which basically just gives him a reroll on his attack. Gives a little bit more to the other version of Luke if you attach it to that one, but for Jedi Luke just gives him a offensive reroll on his attacks. And we are playing on, I believe this is Abandoned Research. So this is the mission where we've got a bunch of objective tokens. The gray mission tokens in the middle, going down the middle of the map, are worth 2 VPs each at the end of each round. And then the colored objectives, the Rebel and Imperial mission tokens, these can all be picked up by a figure, and if a figure's carrying one of them, they can add a die of that token's color to their attack pool once per activation. So this is a well-known map from the old school competitive days of Imperial Assault that is now in map rotation. It'll be fun to see. It's always fun to see how players play this. There's doors that don't open automatically, so you have to be careful with managing your doors. You also have to be very careful with your objective deployment. You have to be careful about giving your opponent too much time to set up and grab too many weapons, or being too aggressive and going for weapons and then getting knocked out early from that. But let's see how it goes. So first off, we're going to start off with Loku's ability. I believe it is it Set Your Sights that does that? Yeah, Set Your Sights puts a recon token, which is an ability we took from the campaign version of Loku that was sadly never used in the Imperial Assault Skirmish version, but it lets you put a recon token on one of your opponent's hostile unique figures, and for the rest of the game, that whenever that figure is attacked, it suffers Pierce 1 to the attack results. So it made Loku quite powerful. He's also a hunter now, in addition to being a spy. We felt that was thematic to Loku sort of being an assassin in the game, the way he's portrayed. So Loku, pretty good. We saw him a lot. He was like ubiquitous in the game on Rebel lists when he first came out for like a first 6 months, I would say. And then he just kind of fell off the earth and people stopped using him for some reason. But nice to see he's back. We're also going to see Hera use her smooth landing here to give some movement points to Han, Loku, Sabine, and R2. And now we're going to start off the game proper with Herbie with initiative. Interesting that Herbie has initiative and has taken the blue deployment zone. There's no devious scheme here, so normally when I see somebody get the initiative, they usually take the red deployment zone because of how powerful this space right here is, which we call the treehouse. Very powerful space. It's very close to these weapons, so it's very easy to grab a weapon and then jump into the treehouse here, and then from here you can very easily pop out to here or here to make an attack on the opponent's deployment zone, or you can pop out to here to attack this area of the map. So it's a really strong defensive position to have. But it looks like Herbie went for the blue deployment zone instead. Possibly means he wants to leverage this space here and more consolidate his forces together in one area, which makes sense because he does have Yoda and Luke. So maybe that is his game plan, is trying to get a line of sight advantage so that Luke can use that deflect ability to ping damage to the opponent, because he has to have line of sight to do that. Alright, so both R2's activating to draw extra cards. C-3PO going to activate for Herbie, focused Cara Dune. Okay, C-3PO activating for Tuukka, going to focus up Jin and open the door. And very nice positioning there because Jin is benefiting from C-3PO's distracting ability, which combines with her cunning ability to give her extra blocks when she's defending. Alright, Herbie is using Yoda's wisdom here. He's going to be able to draw a card, then put a card on the bottom. I don't see Channel the Force in his list, so he's not utilizing that combo. Okay, Hera is going to move up, grab a yellow weapon, and then move back one space. So that is not super safe, but he does have Gideon, but Gideon doesn't have line of sight to Hera from there, so I think Tuukka's hoping that he's not under a lot of pressure here from Herbie's list. Okay, Bay's activating for Herbie. Gonna move up against the door, but not gonna open it. And now Sabine is gonna move right behind Hera. Herbie's gonna pass. Jin gonna pick up another weapon, so Tuukka is really grabbing these weapons here. And Jin gonna stay right there on the objective. Pretty risky play since CT is not activated for Herbie, and CT could just open the door and attack Jin twice there. And she won't even be able to quick draw or hair trigger. So yeah, so it looks like Herbie is building up his defensive core in the middle hallway by the terminals with Luke and Baze. And we're seeing urgency being played by Sabine. Okay, so Gideon had moved Sabine. And now she's going to come up here. Ho ho, okay, so used urgency. Was able to move past the blocking terrain thanks to mobile. Opened the door. And now I'm going to use Parting Gift Grenade to do some damage to probably targeting R2 space. Yep. So it does 1 damage to each figure. But not going to be able to move back. So that was very aggressive. Tuukka playing very aggressively here. And Cara has not activated yet. And if Herbie has Parting Blow, he can get an attack with Kara's Slam, or if he has any movement cards. Tries to play Rebel Graffiti, but should not be able to do that. Yeah, Rebel Graffiti. So that was a incorrect play. Rebel Graffiti says you can't be adjacent to any hostile figures. So with Baze being right here, adjacent to Sabine, this is not a legal play. But that's okay. It's very rare that that clause ever comes up, so it's understandable that players have forgotten that. But we'll see if they figure it out later on. Okay, interesting. So Herbie not choosing, or I should say choosing not to punish Jin Odan there. And it's true that if he did open his door, he would be then getting a counterattack from Han end of round. So now Han has to kind of go the long way. He's going to open the door next to the terminal. Han does have a nice end of round shot on Baze there. Okay, so now we're going to see the smash from Cara Dune. And we'll see if there is a Parting Blow here. Ooh, 3 damage to Sabine. And nice, he pushes Sabine to block line of sight from Han to Baze. So that was a really nice smash there. And now Loku gonna activate. So Loku has priority target, so that means he can bypass line of sight through figures. So looks like he's gonna attack Luke here. It's a long shot though, and he's not focused. 1, 2, 3, 4. He only needs to roll 1 extra accuracy. Yeah, he gets it. Oh, Luke dodges. And Tuukka doesn't have anything for the dodge. Alright, so that is the end of round 1. And Tuukka getting 2 more VP for Jin Odon on the objective. No end of round shot for Han from Rogue Smuggler due to line of sight blocked by Sabine. And looks like Tuukka gonna have the initiative in here. Gonna go ahead and throw that grenade again with Sabine. 2 damage. Oh, interesting, she targeted 3PO's space instead of R2's. I guess going for the maximum amount of damage, so that did 10 damage total, so that makes sense. Just gonna step back and now going to target Baze for an attack. Interesting that Baze is tokenless right now. And so it's gonna be 5 minus 1, so 4 damage. Yep. And then I'm gonna move back. So now is able to play Rebel Graffiti. And then gonna activate Strength in Numbers to allow him to activate either Hera or Loku or Jin. Strength in Numbers seems pretty good in this list. Okay, Jin Odon gonna activate. Gonna play Heart of Freedom for 2 extra movement points. I love that Heart of Freedom is still a staple all these years later in Rebel lists. It's just such a good card. And gonna go for the stun here probably on Baze. And Luke's slightly out of position, doesn't have line of sight to any of these attackers. Oh, and that is a dead... Oh, with the focus. Oh, that's right, and she's carrying a green weapon. So this is a supercharged Jin Odon attack. And yeah, that is going to do a lot of damage. That's 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Pierce 1. 8 plus 5 is 12. Yep, so he is dead. Oh, but Baze is going to play his command card here. Final Stand. It's very similar to Dying Lunge. It's kind of like Dying Lunge combined with Onar's command card, Extra Protection, where he gets to perform an attack when he or another friendly figure dies. So he's going to move 2 spaces. Oh, this is where they're checking. I remember when this question got asked, they were asking when does stun get applied and does it happen before Final Stand? And the answer to that is Surge for stun keyword would be applied after the attack resolves. Final Stand is being played while the attack is still resolving, so this will be happening before a stun is applied. And it looks like he's going to go for the attack on Han. This does make sense since he doesn't have to worry about return fire, since, of course, Baze is already dead. Alright, interesting. I'm going to play Element of Surprise. I think... Did Han have line of sight to him at the start of the activation? I'm going to have to go back and check the tape. No, Han definitely has line of sight. He should not be able to play Element there. So at the start of... Right now we're in Jin Odon's activation. At the start of this activation, Han did have line of sight to Baze, so Baze should not be able to play Element of Surprise here. So let's see what they do. Oh, there, Tuukka saying, I did see you. So yeah, they're going to cancel that. I think he's deciding if he wants to change target. But no, he's going to go for Han. I think this makes sense. Anytime you can attack Han without facing the repercussion of return fire, I think it's always a good idea. Let's throw his card back up. So Han is going to get +1 block from Cunning from that evade result. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 damage, not bad. That's 1/3 of Han's health. Han has very low health for a queen piece. Alright, so that was Jin Odon's activation. So now we have CT coming up and going to perform an attack. Probably using Barrage. Barrage is not good against Han. Adding that white dice really does increase his defensiveness because of Cunning. I feel like Cunning should have been limit once per round, or once per activation or something, once per attack. Okay, he's gonna Barrage. Ooh, Han does blank out though, but not really a great roll from CT. 3 damage and Weaken. Weaken's good though. Cover Fire to add a block. And he gets to discard the focus condition from Han, so that's pretty good too. Okay, interesting. There's another timing conflict here. So when does cover fire and return fire happen? They both say after you resolve an attack, and whenever you have things that say after resolve an attack, you follow attacker, defender, so attacker first, then defender abilities. So the way this would resolve is CT would resolve covering fire first, so he would discard the condition from Han, and then Han would resolve return fire to attack CT. So Han won't be focused here. And they're wondering because Tuukka has initiative, so they're thinking he should get return fire first, but that's not how it works for anything related to an attack or attacking. You follow attack first, defender second. Oh, okay, now Han playing Element of Surprise, it looks like. Oh no, that wasn't supposed to come out. Tuukka gonna re-roll. So Han does 3 damage to CT. Okay, so now CT is going to use Element of Surprise for the second attack. So this is not going to be bad. With Element and Weaken, this won't be so bad on Han. He'll just get that 1 white dice, and then yeah, you lose the evade. So it doesn't get the Cunning bonus. So we're actually going to see 5 damage go through. Oh, 4 damage because of the block. Han down to 1 health. And distributes another block token to Luke Skywalker. Alright, Han is going to activate. Going to attack CT. And yeah, he needs to get out of there. And the Weakened sucks, because if you reroll that blue, you might lose your +2 surge. So right now I think you're just doing 4 damage. Yep, 4 damage. And then Han's going to hide behind R2-D2. So right now Han is dead to a Luke Deflect ping. He's also dead to Cara Dune Smash. Just looking for any incidental sources of damage in Herbie's list. Unfortunately, Baze is dead, so he doesn't have access to Blast anymore. Alright, Yoda activating. Gonna draw a card with Wisdom and put a card back on the bottom. And then going to focus Luke. Yoda with Luke as your only Force user is an interesting choice. Because it means you really want to be attacking with that Force user every turn. Or maybe double moving with Yoda. Like there's less pressure on you to use the focus ability each turn. So you could double move Yoda to get into better positioning for deflection, but we didn't see Herbie take advantage of that. R2 could heal himself. It looks like he's just going to block line of sight. And Looks like Tuukka's R2 is attacking Herbie's R2 for nothing, because he missed on accuracy. Okay, 3PO gonna focus CT. Loku gonna activate. I'm gonna use priority target here to attack CT. I wonder how much Loku's recon token is keeping Kara out of the action here, because we often see that with Loku. That was one of the fun design aspects of that ability, is, you know, kind of using that to scare a figure out of the fight. But then if you can kill Loku before that figure dies, then the Pierce 1 ability no longer applies. So it creates kind of this fun hunter versus hunted. Okay, so we saw Get Behind Me was played by Yoda. And that's gonna do, looks like 4 damage to Yoda. And then 2 damage back to Loku. Yeah, I'm gonna use the Force Deflect to deal 2 damage back to Loku for the 2 dice he rolled. Okay, car activating for Herbie, but not doing much with her. And then I think we're going to finally see Luke do something this game. What do we got here? This hit and run. Oh, urgency being played. Gideon using urgency. Okay, and now Luke. So we focused up Hera. Now Luke gonna go for the finishing blow on Han with a focused attack. Han blanks and dies. So no on the lamb for Han. We're going to play a celebration here for the 14 points. So Herbie's on the board and now in the lead. 14 to 12. Wait, what are we waiting for? Okay, interesting. So that was his free heroic attack, and I should probably put his card up on the screen. And this is exactly the same as his FFG card. That was his free heroic attack, so he had a second action, and he decided to use it to move onto the objective there. Possibly going to pick up that weapon and attack Sabine with it next round. Alright, we've got Hera. Gonna pick up the weapon and attack, or I guess she already picked up the weapon last round. So we're gonna attack Luke here. Luke's gonna spend that block token. So we got focused Hera with a yellow die from the weapon, doing 4 damage. And now Luke can deflect 1 damage back to anything in his line of sight. Could be Gideon, Hera, Jin, or Sabine from that position. Oh, and the timer ran out. Oh no, they ran out of time. I think that was only 2 rounds. So that's the end of the game, and that kill on Han with the celebration. And that kind of explains why I think Herbie felt it was necessary to spend that focused Luke attack to deal 1 damage to Han, because he needed to get the points to win the game here. And that was a timed game, so the way it works is, and I think they were giving themselves timer breaks for each rules question they were waiting on. So I don't think that was the issue. I think it was just a lot going on in each of these rounds. But the way it works is you play within a certain time frame. I think we do 75 minutes is what we usually do. And then if the timer runs out, you finish up the current round. You resolve all end of round effects and mission effects, and then whoever has the most VPs from there wins. So happened here. Herbie won. Looking at the board state, I would say Herbie was in a good position here. I think it could have gone either way, because let's see, Tuukka's got Hera. Tuukka's got Hera, Jin, Sabine, and Loku. But Herbie has Kara and Luke that are pretty much full health. So yeah, I think it could have gone either way, but Herbie did manage to get the lead at the moment that it mattered. So well played, good game to both players, and thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one.